Thank you for tuning into the Model Connection podcast. I am your host, Eric Harrell. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. With us today is a very special guest.
Hey everybody, my name's Allie Jones. I'm a Nashville model / creator here, and I'm just excited to be here on the Nashville Model Connection podcast.
And thank you, Allie. Welcome to the Model Connection podcast. It is such a joy to have you here.
Well, I'm glad to be here.
So now, first, how long have you been a model?
I'd say about 4 years. I kind of fell into it, but about 4 years, yeah.
Okay, how did you fall into it then?
I shaved my head, and J Period Photography reached out to me and said, "You got a nice face. Let's shoot it."
Is that how you got started?
Yeah.
You gotta be kidding.
I swear. I had 17 inches of hair 4 years ago.
17 inches of hair?
Yeah. Yeah, I donated 17 inches of hair to St. Baldrick's on St. Patrick's Day in 2015, 2016, 2017 maybe.
Okay, and is that like a Lux of Love?
So Locks of Love actually charges their clients, I guess you would call them clients or
Okay.
patients, for their wigs, and
Okay.
St. Baldrick's does not. I was actually able to sponsor a child, so I donated $530 straight to her, and then my hair was able to go immediately to her as well, so she didn't have to pay for it or look for it or search for it or anything.
That is wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you for doing that. That is so giving. I mean, wow.
She was one of my regulars. I used to be a bartender at Chili's for like 5 years.
Okay.
And she was one of my regulars. She would come in every Sunday and sit in there with her aunt. I don't know where they are to this day. I hope they're great and thriving.
Probably are.
But one day she stopped coming in, and then the aunt came in, with her, and she said, I was like, where's she at? And she told me that she had stage 4 leukemia and that all of these things, and she was a little mixed girl that loved my purple hair that I had at the time. I had long purple hair, and I found out St. Baldrick's was coming to town, and then cut it all off. Here I am. Never grew it back out.
That is a fantastic story. Thank you for doing that. So, you classify your brand of modeling as what in particular, or do you have a style?
I wouldn't say there's necessarily a specific style. I'd like to stay more like avant-garde, more storytelling, but I also love just like high fashion face modeling, like very makeup, like, I just, everybody wants to see your face on like the Mac billboard,
Yes.
and I would love to be there one day.
What got you to feeling that way? What was it that got you pointed in that direction?
Well, I'm 5'1". That starts there. I'm 5'1", so I'm never,
Just a number.
necessarily going to make it out there walking the runway.
Just a number.
But I'm 5'1". I wouldn't say I'm the skinniest gal in the world, and I love storytelling through my photos, and I love the expressions that you have during photos, and really being able to learn my face and the things that I'm able to express through just saying nothing and capturing it in a photo is something that's like very powerful to me.
And Allie, you have also said that you are also a creator.
So I think anybody as a model kind of has to be a little bit of a creator, You kind of have to have that little creative. But I've also a very broke model. So that leads me into, buying my first sewing machine. Am I a seamstress yet?
Okay.
No. But let me tell you, I can get down with the hot glue gun and some safety pins. And, I've made, multiple outfits for my modeling. I've made huge poof dresses out of those, I don't know, terrible poofy hang things for birthdays.
Yeah.
I've definitely hot glued about 300 of those to a huge skirt. I owed $8,000 in taxes this year. I got into making earrings. I now sell earrings at D-Zone BTQ in Donaldson. So shout out D-Zone BTQ in Donaldson. I've worked with them for a very long time doing their 80s and 90s vintage clothing with my modeling. And they gave me the opportunity to put my product in there. And So I've been doing that. I basically take earrings that are either old jewelry or old things or old McDonald's toys and whatnot and put them on and throw them on your ears and boom. And then I'm a photographer. I've picked up a camera. I'm not the best photographer, but I like to get out there and shoot a little bit. I like to shoot a lot of products for models that, worked with Monad and, hair salons and things like that.
Hmm.
So, and it's always more comfortable to, work with people that, you're comfortable working with. You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Yes. Okay. So a model creator, and as well as a photographer, what has been on photographer side of the camera taught you about what being a model on the other side of the camera goes through? What did you
What
know?
did the photographer teach the
Yes,
model?
yes.
Oh, the time of day, summer, heat. Uh, I would say probably and like models don't know that, like me as a photographer, like because. I'm not a great photographer. You know what I'm saying? I'm a good photographer, but I'm not like get in Photoshop, put a dinosaur behind you. I can't make that stuff
Okay,
happen.
okay.
So I'm definitely like a very ADHD person when I get home on that computer and start editing photos. So I definitely feel as a model for photographers now that I've done the opposite to be like, oh, well, that's why I've waited a month for, photos or so on and so forth.
And then just opposite, you feel for the photographer when you're the model, and when you're the model, you feel for the photographer.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And then like as a photographer, like I'm a model that's always on time. I try to be on time. I try to, really be on
Right.
time.
Yeah.
But as a photographer being on the other end, you're like, we're wasting time. The sun's going down. Where are you at? So you learn both sides of,
Exactly right.
yeah.
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 Okay. Now, which side of the camera do you like the most?
Oh, I like to model better.
Model.
Yeah. Yeah.
You got that a creative side?
It's kind of just like, you kind of get in, get your creative kitsch and like go, you know what I'm saying? And then you get to wait for the product to come.
Yeah. Um, on the shoot concepts that you have done,
hmm
are they your ideas?
I would say 80% of them probably are.
Where do you get your inspiration from? You've got some
Um,
knockout images, I feel. Okay. Where did that creativity come from?
I mean, a lot of it's just like childhood trauma. I would say that the LGBTQ community has absolutely, inspired me to do things.
Okay.
Drag Race, I mean, shout out to RuPaul Drag Race. I mean, it's such a big thing now, but I've watched it since it came out, and like the drag community is just like insane with the fashion and huge. And I
Hmm.
don't think that I was ever really a model that was like, watched New York Fashion Week or, studied modeling or anything that like that. I just really like the storytelling that goes into, just something that you wear or how you wear it or the things that you pair it with. You can take something from being like I wear a lot of my grandmother's clothes, and that's something that I think is a creative, you know what I'm saying? I find a piece of outfit and then I'm like, oh, this would be beautiful with this. And then, but imagine it in this and imagine it in this background. And then this photographer taking it, it's a very, very random way of, I guess, going with it. I
Yes,
mean, it could be
yes.
anywhere from a prop to I got a mullet wig a couple of weeks ago, and let me tell you, I've been having fun. And it's just, it just stuff like that. And then I always tell people, I mean, childhood trauma, man. I mean, there's multiple times that I've just been like, oh, like the pool, or I used to do this in the pool, and we just did a glitter shoot in a pool in my backyard. You know what I'm
Hmm.
saying?
Yeah.
And something that like I would have like, remembered as a child, but now I'm an adult and like let's make it fashion.
Do you think that what was old, like your grandmother's,
hmm
will eventually, or is it coming back into style now?
I think it's always in style. who is to say it's not in style?
True. True.
Yeah. I mean, who's it to say they're not in style? I mean, skinny jeans came back, so you guys let that 70s come back, baby. Yeah, Yeah, I mean, you can't catch me without a pair of platform, boots on.
Yeah.
I mean, bring that back. It's coming back.
I would love that 70s look one more time.
Huh?
I would love that 70s look one more
I mean,
time.
I mean, let's just bring it back. Let's just have our
Wow.
let's just have our 4-inch platforms and just let me live my life. And if I want to wear shoulder pads, then let me wear shoulder pads. I love shoulder pads.
I remember my mom having outfits with shoulder pads. Okay.
Hey, I've got a few outfits that got some in it.
As I say, we'll come back in style eventually. So,
Yeah.
hey, don't get rid of it.
Yeah, it's all coming back around. Let me tell you, my grandma goes to get rid of stuff. I said, I'm going shopping for you. Get rid of that stuff. Don't. Well, I was going to take this to Goodwill. I said, you going to take that to Goodwill? No, let me shoot in it first. So now when she starts going through stuff, she'll say, she'll probably shoot in that one. She'll hold it for me. I'm telling you, I said, don't you throw that away. I need it.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so you basically make a lot of your outfits, right?
I mean, a lot of my outfits are either made by me, made by a local designer, and or thrifted by a local
Goodwill.
Yeah, well, Goodwill or Live True Vintage in Hermitage. I
Okay.
shop with them a lot. They do a lot of, 50s, 60s, 70s, which is something that I love,
Yeah.
and then, D-Zone BTQ, they do a lot of 90s, and I'm super into the 90s and over, baggy clothing
Yeah.
and jerseys as dresses and, yeah, I would say that pretty much I would say 90% of my clothing is all reused at some point, whether it's reused clothing to make new clothing or thrifted new clothing, or even, the local designers I've worked with have put other clothing, tore them
Yeah.
apart, reworked it into something new.
And
yeah.
you're doing fantastic.
I'm trying.
You're doing an awful good job, let me tell you.
Well, thank you.
You are. The photographers that you have worked with, do you have a set criteria that you look for when you look for a photographer, or when a photographer contacts you to work on a project? What is your criteria that you normally go by?
I think first things first is portfolio.
Okay.
So you always want to look at that portfolio. Not everybody, even starting photographers, they might be phenomenal. And, but it takes time for them to build their portfolio. And I think that's something that you work out with them on where they are at with their portfolio and what they need from you versus what you need from them, and so on and so forth. So I would say first things first is portfolio. Second big thing for me is professionalism and communication. I work 6 days a week on top of my modeling, so I don't have time to, respond to me 5 days later and say, "Hey, are you still on for tomorrow?"
Right.
And I'm like, "Well, we never talked about what we're doing or how we're doing it or where we're doing it, and so no, we can't just make it happen tomorrow." So I think 1 is portfolio, 2 would probably be just professionalism, communication, and then 3 would be concept. Because I'm a very, with me being so busy and having so much going on in just life in general, I don't like to just get out and model in general anymore. I really like to help the makeup community, people that are in school for makeup and need portfolios and stuff like that. That's probably as simple as I go for shoots these days. I like to be real big and out of the box and give me something that we can have fun with.
I really try to communicate with a client, a model, as often as I feel I need to. Is it possible for us, the photographers, to, I use this term, bug you too much in communication, wanting to keep you updated on everything, as far as location, date, time, outfits? Can we, as a photographers, go too far?
I'm going to say yes and no.
Tell me.
Yes, in the point of, I do have a job, and yes, I am at work, and I'm slinging pasta and beer at people, so I don't have time to respond to you at, immediately. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying? It may take me 2 hours to respond
Okay.
or, 3 hours to respond, but I will respond to you within that day's time.
Okay.
And I know that's not like as professional as like, back forth, back forth, back forth, but you
Yeah.
kind of respect their being of let me respond to them in a timely manner, but also, I shouldn't be like, hey, did you get that outfit? And did you get that outfit right now?
Yeah. Yeah.
And did you get it? Can you try it on for me? Well, what are you doing? Well, I might be getting coffee, or I might be at the grocery store. I've got to get food to feed myself too.
Yes. Yes.
I'll try it on when I get home. Oh, I need it now. I need it now. Well, the shoot's not until next Thursday and it's Monday. The fall,
Yeah.
So I would say yes and no, but also in the no aspect is because, like, yes, they can be too much, but no, so coming back down on no, I would say because, me personally, if you reach out to me, I want to know the when, where, and what's,
Exactly.
I need to
Yes.
know. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Especially
Yes.
when there's contracts involved and stuff like that, because you don't want to have conflicting ideas. Oh, well, you're going to take the photos, I'm going to find the location, and then or I'm going to do wardrobe and you're just taking photos.
Mhm.
Or am I doing this, this, and this, and you're doing this and this? Is this a collaborative thing? Am I paying you? Are you paying me?
Yes.
I definitely think that that's so no, as in the information needs to be there.
Right.
But don't like shoot me down. You know what I'm saying?
Good
Don't like,
deal. Yeah. Good deal.
yeah, because then at that point I'm like, this is too much and I can't.
Yeah. Thank you. Because
Yeah.
I've always wondered, okay, when is too much too much? Everybody knows where that fine line is after you've already crossed it.
Yeah.
And then it's way too late.
Yeah.
Okay. What has your modeling taught you about yourself that you didn't already know?
I would say I'm pretty freaking resilient, man. I mean, and we could take it all the way back to like the day I shaved my head, like not even modeling, I think shaving your head, for one, teaches you how to love yourself without hiding behind hair or hiding behind a hairstyle or hiding behind, oh, I have to get up and get ready to, impress the world every day. I think being bald definitely conquered that for me. And then I think seeing myself bald and seeing myself through pictures, and I think it's taught me to be very resilient and very, bounce back. And not everybody's going to tell you yes. And, some of my favorite photographers that I work with now, back in the day, would have told me, no, you're not ready to like, be in this style of work, And so I think it taught me to be resilient and get back up and keep going, and not just in modeling. I think that goes with like the whole world.
What are some of the struggles that you've had to overcome?
Body image for me. Yeah.
Meaning, I mean, okay, you're 5'1". So what?
Yeah, but being 5'1" and not being the what would you call it? Like the tape measure. What do you call it? Like the specific weight,
Yeah,
I would never say it was like always a problem for me personally until maybe I got into this industry. Because, you are so it's such a thing. It's such a thing for people to judge your body, and I think that social media also like brings that, even further,
How has social media played a part in that?
because I mean you have like the Kim Kardashians and the Gigi Hadids and the top models and skinny and tall, and I think that a lot of photographers and models especially, they use that as a criteria for what a model is.
Okay.
And I just don't think that's true, especially in the past coming years. Victoria's Secret's now working with bigger models,
Mhm.
and, there's bigger models that are walking runways and
Right.
things like that. So now we've made it to, hey, we have plus size models.
Yes.
But now it's, okay, let's work with plus size models that aren't 5'7", because that's not a thing yet. That's not, we're still working with the the criteria of 5'7". I've walked into agencies who have invited me in Nashville to come in and fill out paperwork, and I walked in and they've immediately turned me away. I didn't even get to fill out paperwork because they were like, "Oh, well, we thought you were 5'7". Well, I photograph like I'm 5'7". So
Yeah.
you needed me a little bit, and then I walk in and it's, "Oh, you're 5'1". "Oh, you're not," and it's kind of discouraging, but in the same point, I'm still doing it. I can still do this. I can still make art.
What can we do to change that?
I think it just takes more models like us and photographers that are willing to work with us, like people like us, and just showing them that we can make art and it's still beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's 2022, and like just let people live. You, I don't understand why it's such a big thing for weight and facial features and it height. It's just not. I don't feel like it should be a problem anymore.
It shouldn't be.
Yeah.
And like you uh, have said, Instagram models, I mean, they're probably the worst at stereotypical,
Hmm.
hope it's the right word to use. Everyone that you see on Instagram is, like you said, this a cookie cutter form,
Hmm.
height, weight, yada, yada, yada. And it shouldn't be that way, but yet that's what is on there. Has social media hurt modeling?
I think it's done the opposite.
Okay.
I think I think it I'm gonna hit you with a yes and no again because
Go ahead.
yes,
Go ahead.
there is like the Instagram, the Instagram baddies or the Instagram models that
Yeah.
they have the thin waist and the big butts and the big lips and and they get paid to do those things.
Yeah. Uh
That's
huh.
great. Let me tell you, if I could do it and I had the money to do it, sign me up. I want to do it. But I'm just a regular life model, and I think that models like me and you know, small town people like me, we can make art and we can still become paid people. There's very many plus size models that I follow on Instagram that now have, 2-3 million followers, and they model for, bathing suit ads now. And I just think it's like the influence is there to badly, but also if people like us can keep on using our voice and our platform and putting out there that we're still beautiful, just because we're not 100 pounds and 5'7" and
Mm-hmm.
or 6 foot tall, and we are still beautiful and we are still able to create our own art. I think that art is in so many different ways portrayed,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that like the if people like us can continue to put our work out there and show it that it's still beautiful, and also use our platform
Mm-hmm.
to put our words out there to say this isn't right, or so
And,
yes and no.
and maybe everyone that is a listening and watching this podcast will take heart of what you're saying and the message that you're trying to bring across, because I do want this podcast to be a platform that you yourself can use to open people's eyes
Hmm.
as to this is what is happening. This is what may need to change.
Yeah.
Okay. In your time of modeling, what have you learned that are some positive do's, and what are some positive don't do's?
As a model,
Yes.
positive do's: stay on time. Dre Brown told me either keep the nails just like this, there better not be no scrapes on it, or put the nails on.
Okay.
So always have your nails right. Either they need to be clean sweeped or they need to have the nails on, or all one color. Time, always be on time. Two, I would say positive, just be you. Just be you, because I think that a lot of times, you go to a photo shoot and there might be a model finishing up or a model coming in after you,
Mm-hmm.
or you might be at a group shoot where there's multiple models, and not don't not be yourself to the point where you're like being annoying and out there, but just kind of be yourself, because I don't feel like you can get the picture that you're wanting, you know what I'm saying, without just being, loosey goosey yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And also, you want to stand out, you want to be yourself. You want somebody to remember you and say, hey, I really liked working with that girl.
Yes. Yes.
It just be yourself. Always just be true to yourself, because if you have a beautiful face, they might say, oh, well, we'd love to have her back, but you have a beautiful face and you're a real meanie. They're going to be like, I don't have time to have her back,
Yes.
So I feel like just be professional and be yourself, be on time, have the nails right, have your makeup done right. And I think anytime that you get invited somewhere and you have the opportunity to get your makeup done professionally, do it.
Do it. Your perception of modeling before you got started and your view of modeling now, is it the same? If not, how has it changed?
Yeah, I would say it's not the same,
Okay.
because I didn't a lot of people come up and they want to be a model, and I want to, walk runway, and I shaved my head, and J Period was like, let's get it. So for me, I think as a 13-year-old, I mean, I was watching America's Next Top Model thinking oh my gosh, they're so skinny and so beautiful, and Tyra's over there shaving people's heads off and knocking teeth out, and that's what you got to be a model. So I think as before modeling, it was such an unrealistic thing to get into, I think, for me, looking at it as a 13-year-old from Hickman County that was well, that'll never be me. I'll never be up there with Miss J. Alexander. I think that's something before it was something that was almost unobtainable. And I think now, being a model and being a creative, it's not unobtainable, I think anything that you put your mind to, you can make it happen. It just takes a whole lot of hard work to make it happen.
Yes, it does. And you're
Yeah.
not the first person that's ever said that, so you are absolutely true.
Yeah.
Absolutely right.
Yeah.
This podcast is produced by To the Moon Creative, located in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Whether you're an established or a new podcaster, To the Moon Creative offers the highest quality audio and HD multi-camera video podcasts. And if you already record your own podcasts, To the Moon Creative also offers affordable audio and video editing services with guaranteed fast turnaround time. For more information, find us online at www.ttmcreative.com.
That being said, let's look at your images right here now. Okay, now, Allie, tell me what we are looking at right here.
Okay, so this is one of my favorite photographers from Memphis. 46 Creative came into town, and this is actually the house of Adora right there in Nashville, the Pink House in Nashville. She rents out to do music videos and all kinds of good stuff in there. That dress is rented from Nashville Gowns. A huge red dress. Yeah, I got invited to do a model shoot out there with a lot of different models. And they sent me pictures of the inside of the house, and I said that red room has got to have that red dress in it. And let me tell you something.
Yeah.
That dress in that house is dangerous.
Why?
There's knickknacks everywhere. It's like a full, beautiful, 70s, 80s house with the knickknacks everywhere.
Yeah.
And that dress is huge. Huge. It took about 4 people to get me in it and 3 people to get me to that couch without knocking everything over. Yeah. But I love the photo. I think it just speaks,
Yeah.
I think it just speaks. I don't even know what it speaks to me, but it speaks.
It's a beautiful image.
Okay, so Halloween's my favorite time of year.
Okay.
I don't know if you've seen that from my page.
I
But
think so, yeah.
Halloween's my favorite time. That's
Yeah.
when you can really, you could put your ideas out there. So this shoot started from that crown, that teeth crown up there.
Okay.
Jack Savage made me that teeth crown. And I've had that tooth crown for about 2 years. And Scouse Photo reached out to me and said, hey, I'd really like to do some Halloween stuff. What do you have in mind? So I sent him the picture of the crown, and I said, let's do a tooth fairy. And he was like, oh, they were like, a tooth fairy. And I was like, yeah, tooth fairy. Let's do it. So they had the wings fabricated. I got that dress from Nash Gown Rentals as well. And we went out to a cemetery in Fairview, and we had the best time in the world. I love working with them. They're a husband and wife that are just phenomenal, and we just had fun. I mean, smoke machines.
It
And
looks fun.
just fun. I mean, it's a spooky tooth fairy. How can it not be fun? Ray took this photo in her apartment, and we just had fun with the Real Graphic Liner Kiss and Makeup out of Artificial Makeup. Did my makeup that day. I went in. I had a 30-minute session, and she told me she wanted to go real like sci-fi, very punk rocky with it. So I put my wig on. We did the crazy eyeliner. I got the gloves off Amazon, and there's your apartment punk rock Allie.
I love that.
I mean, shot right in the living room, baby.
Wow.
This is one of my favorites.
I can understand why.
I cried at this photo shoot, actually.
Cried?
Yeah.
Okay, now tell me why did you cry?
Okay, so you see the beautiful set, of course.
Yes,
okay,
yes.
so I've never in my life had anybody love me enough to ever give me a picnic ever. And so a CBD company and Holly Workman from Memphis reached out to me and asked if I would do a couple of photos for them and their new products. So I show up to the park in Memphis, and Holly has this beautiful picnic set up for me and yummy, yummy pizza. And I cried. I said, no one has ever done this for me. You did not have to do this for me. Let me pay you for doing this for me. And she was like, no, this is for, this is how they wanted it to be. This is what they
set.
This is the set. And I was like, but this is so nice. You didn't have to do it. And the photos turned out amazing. And afterwards, me and Holly sat there and smoked that CBD right there in the park. And we ate our pizza, and we just had the best time. Holly E. Workman from Memphis is easily one of my favorite photographers as a person and a photographer.
Okay, now this is what they call the parachute dress?
Yes.
Okay.
So this is the same people who did my spooky tooth fairy.
Okay.
Scouse photo. This is also very, very sentimental to me. This is my grandma's land in Hickman County. She has since then sold 10 acres of it, so this part is actually no longer hers. I won this photo shoot from them. That's how I actually got, I wouldn't say reached out, but that's how I got connected with them. I put in a raffle to wear that dress, and that's how I got connected with them. That's the first time I've ever won anything ever, like other than like a ticket on a scratch off. And they reached out to me, and I had a model shoot out on my grandma's land before she sold the land.
Okay.
And they came out there, and let me tell you, it is the most amazing thing to see how it's happening versus the photo. So Cleet was taking photos. He's the husband. He's taking photos as wifey and grandma and grandpa, as in their parents, are out there flopping that thing. You see, there's people under there, and they're flopping it, and they're flopping it hard. Yeah, so as I'm just in here like posing like I think I'm like doing something insane, these people are having a full-blown CrossFit workout, flopping this parachute in the wind. But look how gorgeous the photo is. And Cleet's on 5 stairs up on a ladder trying to get the aerial shot down. And I'm just like, huh? And they're like, I mean, it's insane to see. Like, I would love to do it again and get somebody to come videograph it to see how it shows up afterwards.
I would love to see the behind the scenes photographs.
Yeah, because let me tell you, because it took four and me. I mean, their mother and their father was there. Cleet was taking photos, and everybody else is just flopping that parachute around, and I'm just sitting there like, face.
Part of being a professional is being able to keep a straight face while this is going on.
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, the first like 2 or 3 flops, I was like, "Oh, this is okay, all right," And then after the like 5 or 6 photos, then you're like, "Okay, it's not gonna stop. They're still flopping
That's
it,"
it.
and yeah, and so you kind of just like get into it, and you're like, "Oh, ooh, ah, oh, I'm gonna make this work. We're gonna make it happen."
That is fantastic, Allie.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing those images with us. That
Well,
is
thanks for seeing them.
wow. That is just so awesome. I mean, you got some fantastic images. What is a topic that is near and dear to the modeling community that needs to be brought out and, and talked about? People have before mentioned mental health.
Oh yeah. Okay. So, so you mean in general, not just like in the
General,
modeling?
general,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. Okay, okay, okay. Yeah. So mental health, but that's something that I'm very, very fluent with on my page. I think.
Is it the pressure that we put on one another? Is it image? What brings it on in your mind?
For other people, I would probably say image. I would probably say it's a little bit of everything. I've dealt with mental health for a very long time, and I've just kind of, dug in on myself in the past few
Hmm.
years. Um, but I would say that everybody in the world needs a therapist, not just the models and the photographers. I mean, I would say, pretty much everybody. I mean, I would say, coming out of COVID in general, everybody needs to speak to somebody, whether it be, your mom or your dad or your best friend or, but I go see a therapist every Wednesday,
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
and I've been very, you know, transparent with my followers about, the mental journey that I've went through. I spent 9 days in a psych ward last year, uh, prior, well, not prior, for having a suicide attempt on my 25th birthday. And I've been very, transparent with my followers and my family and, because it's real. And mental health is very, very real. And I think that, being a model and dealing with my mental health, you definitely have to take a few steps back and make sure that that you're worthy for yourself. You know what I'm saying? So I would say it's a lot of pressure, it's a lot of image, it's a lot of the people that you hold yourself around as a model. Are these people here for you as a friend, or are they here as an associate to work off of you? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because you almost have to have a real connection with somebody to make, magic happen.
What can we do to help?
Me?
You, you, anyone that you, you, anyone that is telling they've got mental
I
health issues.
I think that
What can we do to help?
just if you ask somebody and this is just for me in person. If somebody asks you, hey, are you okay? Do you need help with anything? Can I help with anything? And I say, I've just had a really bad day. And why don't like us go, let's go get some ice cream or something, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I cannot stand when somebody goes, well, you're having a bad day. Well, I'm having a bad day too. And bop a dink bap boom bop. And I'm like, I didn't ask you. I mean, I know that sounds bad,
No, no, no.
but sometimes, as a mental health, I don't need something else dumped on me. I'm already having a bad day, and if you need me to listen to you, tell me about it. But I think just listening to people, checking in on your friends, it's such a thing to check in on people. How hard is it to say, "Hey, girl, how's your day?" Or "Hey, how's your dog?"
Yeah,
Or what you been up to? And you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And just that simple connection might, do something for that person to really, help their day.
Hmm.
They might be sitting in bed all sad and you say, "Hey girl, hadn't talked to you in a while, just thought I'd say I'd talk to you." You know,
Yeah.
thought about you. I mean, so I would just say, seeking out to people and just being nice. I mean, just be nice. I mean, I understand that social media it's in everybody's hands and it's at all times in everybody's hands, but
Yes.
just be nice. I mean, what does it help somebody to say that, oh, she's fat, or oh, she doesn't deserve to do this, or oh, why is she doing this, or oh, you're bald. Like, okay, you know, but does that make, I mean, does that make them feel better? Because, for me, it's like, you didn't have to say that. I mean, so I would just say, just be a nice person. Be nice. Treat people the way you want to be treated.
Where do you want Allie Jones modeling to be this time next year?
Oh gosh, this time next year. This time next year, I really just hope to be like surviving and not living in a shack. Thanks, Nashville.
It's high price to shack in Nashville, okay?
That's what I'm dealing with right now. I would like to just see me, doing my thing, still inspiring people to, I would love to say you would see me on a billboard for NYX Cosmetics, or you would see
Yes.
me on a billboard for MAC Cosmetics, or, Nordstrom or whatever. But, I think I'm just going to keep it real humble and just say, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. I want to be happy. I want to, I think that's probably really generic, and you probably
Yeah.
want a very model answer, but I think that I just want to be happy. I think I just want to be happy and in a good place and creating with the people that I love, and in and out of Memphis and around here. And I'd like to continue working with BET, and I would like to just continue doing me the best I can, but way happier than I was 6 months ago.
Wow. Okay, now, for the young ladies, even young guys out there that are thinking about following in your footsteps as a model.
Don't do it. I'm kidding.
Don't do it.
I'm kidding. I'm
What
kidding.
what advice would you give them?
Just be yourself. I mean, I didn't get here from faking it, I think that I've paved the road of the people who do want to work with me and don't want to work with me, and who want to look up to me and who doesn't want to look up to me. And, I think that you just be yourself. I mean, because nobody can do you like you. And I think if it's written in the stars for you to be famous, you're going to be famous. I think that, I don't even want to be famous. I just want to be, pretty mediocre, and just
You'll be comfortable, okay?
I just want to be comfortable, you know what I'm saying? But I would just say, be you, be professional, and hold your head up. Just keep your head up. I mean, even dealing with, me dealing with my mental depression and everything, sometimes you just got to wake up and say, nah, I'm just going to keep my head up today,
Yes,
just
yes,
keep your
you are.
head up
Yes,
and
yes.
just go, and if somebody, is beating down your neck, I mean, flick them off like a fly. I mean, you can't let somebody's one thing ruin your dreams, because there's been multiple times as a model, in the past 4 years that I'm like, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to be this person anymore, or these people aren't looking up to me like I want them to do. Well, if you just take a step back and say, this is what I like to do. This is what I like to create. And you just keep creating it. Well, you're going to inspire somebody. It might not be the person you want to inspire, but you're inspiring somebody, and you're helping somebody get through their day. There's been multiple people that's reached out to me and just said, "Hey, thanks for telling me about your mental health today," or "Thanks for updating me on your mental health," because that's how I felt today, and I just, I appreciate you. You're still alive, so I'm still alive. So
Absolutely. For the people that want to reach you, how can they do that?
you can find me on Instagram at Jones14Allie. And yeah, we'll want some pasta. Come see me at Carrabba's in Cool Springs. I'll be slinging pasta around there. That's what I do on my second job, and on my third job I work construction. So you really can't reach me much, but reach out. I'd love to work with some new people, and I'd love to share my ideas with people, and I'd love to work with new models, and I'd love to, put my ideas on, maybe that 5'7" really skinny tall model.
Allie Jones, you are absolutely fantastic. I've had an awesome time seeing you, talking with you. You are just a dream, okay? And
Well, I appreciate it.
I thoroughly enjoyed having you here, okay?
Well, thank you for having me, and I appreciate being here, and I'd love to come back and talk to you anytime.
I'd love to have you come back, okay?
If you'd love to have me to come back, I did something right.
Yes, you did. Allie Jones, thank you so very, very much.
Well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for tuning into the Model Nation podcast. Please like, follow, and subscribe on social media and everywhere you get your podcast. Links are in the description. Thank you and bye-bye.